Good day, sir. We're Group 1, and these are the members of the group: Jano, Nemenzo, Montenegro, Seeholzer, Tinio, Ileto, Recla, and lastly, your guwapong reporter, Britz, Rosatace. And the objective of this group report is to share our insights or experiences of the impact of the online interaction in the self. So, impact of online interactions on the self. So, online interactions like this promotes connection-built relationships and increases well-being via increased relational closeness and quality through processes of self-disclosure and social support. So, despite all of this, everything has its own positive and negative side. So, let's start with the positive side of online interactions on the self. Online interaction on the positive side promotes cost effective cost effective compared to physical meetings, easy connection in every places in the world, best use in different gadgets and devices, increases self-efficiency and productivity, and long-term competitive advantages, and has a ultimate support for environmental protection. So we're done talking about the positive side of social interaction. So now let's talk about the negative side of online interaction. So the negative side of online interaction includes the loss of human physical interaction, addiction, access to inappropriate content, and you know what I mean, and large-scale misuse of technologies such as cyberbullying and etc.
Hello, good day. My name is John Leo Jano from Group 1, and today I'm going to share about my experiences of the impacts of online interaction. But before we start, let me say the definition of what is online interaction. Online interaction is interacting with other people with the use of modern technology, a form of interaction online that allows the parties to see and hear each other. We formally define online social interaction as internet-enabled communication and exchange activities involving two people communicating online. How is communicating online different than real life? So the main difference between face-to-face communication and online communication is that in the face-to-face communication, you can feel and see the presence of the other party, whereas in online communication, you can see the other party but through a virtual screen, or you cannot feel its presence that he or she is really there. If I were to choose between the two, I think it is a 50-50 for me because interacting people in real life is a great thing. You can really feel that someone is there communicating with you and not just in the screen. While for online communication, when you are an introvert like me, talking online is also useful for us because it is less shy to talk to somebody online. Positive impacts of online interaction that I have experienced is when the pandemic started, the whole world changed completely, locking us into our houses and can't interact with people in real life. Instead, we use social media and technology to communicate with them. The positive impact is I get to develop and enhance my communicating skills. I downloaded an app called Discord. It is an app that is meant for gaming and is used to communicate with people all around the world. Once I started using this to communicate with my friends and to play with them, I started to gain confidence in myself. I was not the same who I am before. I now engage the conversation first, unlike in the past, where if I meet someone new, I will still wait for them to say hi to me or to interact with me. I was a shy person before, but as I keep continue to develop my skills and gaining confidence every day, I learned that communicating and meeting new people can help you a lot. While online interactions have some positive impacts, there are also negative impacts of it. Like when you are glued to the screen too much, this can damage your health and mental self. Involving more than 700 students found that depressive symptoms such as low mood and feelings of worthlessness and hopelessness were linked to the quality of online interactions. Researchers found higher levels of depressive symptoms among those who reported having more negative interactions. Negative impact I can say that I have experienced is my vision is getting blurry and I need glasses to see clearly. This also affected me to limit my outdoor activities such as going outside, playing sports, and exercising. I was an indoor and outdoor guy before the pandemic broke out, but when it came, I preferred to stay inside my room and play games all day. I played basketball and go for a jog in the morning and ride my bike to lose weight, but I got lazier and tired to go outside because of the technology or the use of social media that made me lazier. And this really affected me as a person. And I had the chance to change myself in near future. And it's starting today since the pandemic is almost getting controlled by the use of vaccines and face shields or mask wearing mask or putting alcohol. So here are some top benefits of online communication. Number one, it cost effective compared to physical meeting. Number two, easy connectivity from every place in the world. Number three, best to use in different devices and gadgets. Number four, increased productivity and efficiency. Number five, long-term competitive advantage. And number six, ultimate support for environmental protection. Now, there are some notable cons of online communication. Here are two communication that is a negative side. So for number one, time consuming and costly. One of the major disadvantages of web conference call is that detailed planning is essential for this success. The people engaged in the conference call need to have a high discipline and high level of concentration. For an effective conference call, the webcam, microphone, and the other gadgets need to be in proper position in a good working condition. Failure in any way, one of the key gadgets can lead to the total failure of the conference call. And number two is ineffective. There are some human ways of communicating that do not translate very well over a distance, such as an eye contact when you sit in the room with someone else and listen to a speech or presentation. You will make an eye contact and they will judge who is paying attention by looking around the room. Much of this contact is not easily delivered through a webcam. I can tell you this. Interacting with people online is a wonderful thing that has happened to me. I meet a lot of new friends and gain more confidence in myself and in speaking with other people. Interacting online helps me reduce stress, whether from schoolworks or personal problems. And remember that there are always people who is willing to talk to you and will listen to you no matter what. Just always remember to limit the use of technology or social media in order for you to have a balanced life. And here's a quote from Stephen Morrissey that I think will help you realize something in your life. Shyness is nice, but shyness can stop you from doing all the things in life that you like to do. Thank you and God bless.
So today we're going to talk about the impact of online interaction of the self. But before that, let me introduce myself first. So, hi, I'm Jayson Nemenzo. I'm the reporter of Group 1. What is online interaction for you? It's form the interactions online that allow the parties to see and hear each other. So basically, There will be communication over the distance by the use of different mediums with devices such as a cell phone, laptop, and other daily communication medias. So online interactions can be both rewarding and challenging. Students often have preferences for online or offline learning interactions, and they have select one learning environment over the other for varying reasons. Interestingly, the online environment can increase interactions of cater students who may not feel comfortable speaking up in the traditional classroom in the minds of the others learners. Let's talk about this first. So, what are the positive impact of online interaction that you have experienced? Did you know, because of online disinnovation effect, individuals are able to open up more in online support group. This they argue foster personal empowerment, control, self-confidence, and improve feelings. And you know what is more interesting? Online interactions. So many participate in online courses because of the flexibility they provide. Online college degrees and programs make it possible for students to work during the day and complete their studies from their homes at night. Those who spend a lot of time to travel do the work can also complete their education in their spare time. So, students in online interactions enjoy the equity in the ability to share thoughts and ideas. No longer is it's just a student in the front of the room or the one with the loudest voice who is heard. So when learning online and the playing field in level and opportunities are in place such as commenting and post videos and student work participating in the discussion forums. This environment provides the student with varied opportunities to share their thoughts and ideas. Studies demonstrate that online discussions are generally much more egalitarian and face-to-face encounter reproduce pattern of individual dominance of increased contribution by low status of participants. So, students have a freedom to gender their career and school because they aren't tied down to fix the schedule in a traditional classroom setting. Class meeting time are set, and the student has no power over this, forcing them to work their schedule around this day. Most people who choose online learning tend to have other commitments and prefer this mode to learning as it gives them power over how they will delegate their time toward their different projects. What are the negative effects of online interactions? Did you know online learning may create a sense in isolation? Some person possess an ability to work independently, while others find comfort in their community or compose the easy access to professor or their fellow student. Online interaction requires self-discipline. If a person does not feel they are getting the proper guidance, they may not have enough self-discipline to fully engage in the lessons themselves. Online learning means more screen time, so access to screen time can lead to all short and physical ailments like poor posture or head chest, and it can also be a personal issue to people who struggle with learning time or focusing off screen. How do you know overcome the negative impact of online interactions? Meet all needs. To overcome this negative impact, we should meet all the needs in order for us to escalate, collaborate. We need to collaborate to compromise things for us to understand. Have a self-discipline. We should avoid distractions and begin to develop our self-discipline. So, engage with nature every after 30 minutes. We have to give time to relax our eyes in order for us to avoid running our physical and mental health. Some fact of my experience, 50% of I get to experience loneliness, 30% I'm more confident online, 20% it helped me to save up.
Good day, I'm Cadet Montenegro presenting about positive and negative effects of online interactions or simply communication. But before we start, here are the contents to be reported in this presentation. So let's start with this first question. What are the positive impacts of online interactions that you have experienced? Actually, there are three so far that I've noticed. First is more control over presentation. Since online people can choose what they wish to reveal about themselves and no clues about their identity, people also have more time to think about their presentation, in particular in asynchronous communication. This allows for more time to think for self-reflection and for the selection and presentation of the cues that are transmitted. Second is freedom to express personal information, since by this allows people to control the representation of themselves and express their personality in ways that were not possible before. People now look for and find like-minded people via the internet, since it is free of traditional social boundaries. They shape their own social groups according to their own interests and feel free to express themselves within those groups. And lastly, new ways to express oneself, since people get used to a medium and will learn to use it and that. After some time, people develop ways of fulfilling their communication needs that bypass the limitation of the medium. Let's proceed to the next. What are the negative impacts of online interactions that you have experienced? There are many negative impacts of online interactions, but I have only experienced some of it. So I'll just report some of it also. To start, as I've experienced first, is the lack of physical cues in online forums may lead to miscommunication. In this manner, since we are on online interaction, miscommunication is very common. There are gaps that need to be filled, and in order to know when is the serious discussion and when is not. Second one is participants may accidentally go off topic within a particular discussion. Since most of us, especially me, can control some of the words that comes out of my mouth in impromptu, this is also a common negative impact for me because I tend to broke the discussion by not sticking to the topic. See. How do you overcome the negative impacts of an interaction? Well, basically, we can overcome things with the right amount of practice. I am personally confident that when you read the topic in advance and share it with your classmates, you can really express the correct type of discussion. This kind of online interaction may help maybe some, since there are types of people that doesn't really are into online and want to read more in order to understand the topic. But since we're in online right now, the best thing we should keep in mind is adjusting. Thank you for listening. That's all for my report.
Good day everyone, I am Ronan Tinio and I'm here to discuss the impact of online interaction to the self. What is online interaction? Online interaction is that in marketing, consumers communicate or interact with each other, with a business or with a brand, and this is done in an online environment. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans only communicated in person, but in just the past 50 years, they have started also communicating online. Today, people communicate more online than offline. Each of these differences underlies systematic, psychological, and behavioral consequences. Online and offline lives often intersect. We thus further review how online engagement can disrupt or enhance offline interaction. This work provides a useful framework for studying the influence of technology on social life. For example, a clothing store's social media interaction could be the customer taking pictures in your clothes and sharing them on the social platforms. What are the positive impacts of online interactions? Based on my experience, the positive impacts of online interactions is we all know that we experience a pandemic right now that put our education at risk and no students allowed on coming to the school. However, the school come up a unique idea on how to solve this kind of problem situation. They do online classes for students. In this situation, my experience was changed. I boosted my self-confidence and improved my speaking skills because I'm not good in communicating for the reason that I'm a shy type person. What are the negative impacts of online interaction? First is online interaction skills issue. Using mobile devices more and more, I can become addicted to this, not spending enough time with my family and friends. I am more likely to be virtually connected with the friends, sharing photos and texting online than actually meeting them in person. Online interaction may cause health problems. The overuse of mobile devices can be harmful to my health. The more I use mobile devices, the less physical activities I do. The problem is that playing online games combined with snacking, substituting the balanced alimentation. As a teenager, I spend more time in screens. Over time, those habits can gain a physical weight. It could be dangerous while browsing online. I often face harmful things. The third one is mobile device overuse, reduce sleep quality. A lack of sleep can have serious consequences on our brain. During the sleep, the brain does some housekeeping tasks, doing things that aren't important and destroying the nerves network to wake up again, ready for a brand new day. But sleeping less means that we're depriving our brain of its essential needs, and we will struggle on our activities during the day. So, how do I overcome the negative impacts of online interactions? First, be mindful of my social media habits. Being mindful means being more conscious and aware of our patterns. Since much of our social media use involves mindless scrolling, the best way to take control of our use is to first be conscious of how we're using social networking sites in the first place. To start, ask yourself the following questions. Set limits on the amount of time you spend on social media. It is best to limit screen time to ensure the eye's development and stay healthy. Move social apps off your home screen. Have this extra step to open the can, reduce urge, check social media as soon as you get on your phone, schedule specific to check social media, or set a timer to limit yourself to 20 to 30 minutes. Put your phone on silent. Know when it's time to stop scrolling. A lot of our social media user is compulsive. After all, these networks are designed to keep us engaged as long as possible. Therefore, it's important to be aware of the addictive potential of social media steps.
Hello, good day. And this is Jerwen Recla. Today, I just want to share my ideas about our topic, which is entitled Impact of Online Interactions on the Self. But before I will proceed, so if we hear online interactions, so one of the big example for this is online class as what we have doing right now. Because with the online class, it helps to the student and instructors to connect each other, to build relationships, and to get to know each other. Because with the online class, it helps to the student, just like me, to continue because of the connection of the student, just like my classmates. So next is, so what is the important of online interactions? What are the positive impact of online interaction you have experienced? So one of a positive impact of online interaction are It promote connections individually and build relationships to one another. Uh, One of my example is when I enroll in college, I did not know at first of what section I am belong because I only enroll through portal and I don't know how I will reach with my classmates. But with the help of Facebook page, which is the University of Cebu METC page on Facebook, and some of the student are comment there what section you are, what course you have. Then, uh, then with that, I am also one who comment so that I know and I uh, actually know where I am belong. And with that, I reach my classmates with the help of Facebook. With the Facebook, uh, it promotes connection, just like uh, finding or reaching other people, even though you don't know who he is. Unlike when face to face, it does not require online interaction because we already interact with one another and we are already know who 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 person are they. Unlike in online class, we are just chatting so that there is a communication happen. Next, uh, what is what are the negative impact of online interaction you have experienced? So first is uh, the negative impact of online interaction are internet addiction, information overload, false report, harmful to the physical. So my example for this is when I was a kid, I am playing online games just like Adventure Quiz, which is AQ, uh, Dota, Dota, I did Crossfire, and many more. And I forgot what's online games I am playing before. With those online games, I was addicted because I did not set limits to myself and I did not care for myself. What I want is to feel happy, to feel that I am satisfied with the online games. Before, without online games, I am so sad. I don't know what's happened to me, why I am so lousy, uh, and I over and as I overcome those negative effects, so I set limits when I am playing games. I am teach myself to be responsible. I practice time management. I also take notes. What is the important thing to do first before doing playing online games, and I also treat online class as real, just like now. I am focus and I aware that I will not do online games because it makes an eyesight poor, and it was uh, so bad if that will happen. And I also organize all things I am doing because no one can help me but with me. And that's all. And thank you for your listening. God bless.
Good day, sir. This is impact about online interaction about ourselves. What are positive impacts of online interaction that you have experienced? In my experience, online interaction played a major part of my life. Personally, I love to travel and explore beautiful places such as historical landscapes. Online interaction is very helpful. I can ask other people who lives in the area to ask for direction via online. Maybe there are other beautiful places I have never knew that other people in the community know and I can ask them for directions. What are negative impacts of online interaction that I have experienced? Negative impacts of online interaction can cost me time, effort, and money. There are other people who aren't serious and will play you like a fool. Other people might make fun of you or direct the wrong way. Conflict may be possible due to misunderstanding and the way each of you deliver your words. How do I overcome the negative impacts of online interactions? For me, the way I overcome negative impacts is to being cool and look for other people who I can ask what I need to know. When I feel the other person is impolite, I immediately thank him or thank her and ask another person to know what I need and what I need to know. Lastly, share your experience, different interactions, experience of myself. My experience about positive impact, one time when I was planning to go to Limasawa Island, I was excited and packed my things just to find out that I didn't know any tourist spots to go and I have no friends there. I immediately grabbed my phone and asked people who lives there for any tourist spots and beautiful destinations. Luckily, I found a polite and kind person to help me out and pointed out directions. That's my positive impact about online interactions. My negative impact is one time when I bought a smartphone, the seller and I were having a great chat about the specifications of the phone and how it would last long. As time passed by, I was so confused and irritated because the phone I bought easily heats up when I play games and lags when I open applications. I burst out and messaged the person selling it to me and complained about how the phone wasn't the way the seller described. We threw each other with words that hurt feelings and caused conflict. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Jasper Ileto, and this I am a part of Group 1, and this is my presentation on the Psychology 101 on the topic of impacts of online interaction on the self. This is my perspective on the subject, so sharing my insights. What are the positive impacts of online interactions that you have experienced? One of the very most important positive thing that I've interacted with on regards of online interaction or social media is that it lets me cope up with the feeling of being alone, the feeling of being left out, and um, the certain anxiety and depression that comes along with it. Since we tend to be on our own private space, like my room right now, I have a big tendency to feel alone or the certain level of solitude that eventually grows into somewhat form of an anxiety, and then anxiety turns to depression and other mental illness that comes along the road. But it lets me prevent that by letting me feel up to date and more included, like for example, like with my classmates or my cadet mates, which is my one of the best example that I can give is my group in psychology. It lets me a social interaction or online interaction lets me keep up to date with them, and not just regarding on my academic life, but in my social life as well, since we hang out after laboratories and we chat and we play online. So it lets me have a certain amount of space to interact with them on a level that doesn't really um, destroy my own private space, but rather lets me socialize in a manner that is um, well suited for me. What are the negative impacts of online interactions that you have experienced? Okay, um, I've been using this application named Hola. It lets people or strangers online to interact with each other, whether it is via voice messaging or via video messaging options. So there's two main options. Now, one of the negative impact of using that is that you are subjected to be in a conversation with a stranger that have a tendency to have a toxic mindset and a bad image of the world or a bad perspective, and they tend to impose that kind of ideology to the person that they're gonna talk to, and that is just a negative impact of the online interaction, since we gain a certain amount of negative insights and negative ideas from that person, which is we are subjected to by the means of online interaction. So we have to at least have an idea of this negative side of online interaction so we can be prepared. But one of the things regarding the negative online interaction is that we are subjected to a lot of fake news, fake ideas, and unsupported theories that a lot of people online believes without even questioning or doing their proper research or looking for a proper evidence to support that fact that they try to spread, such as ideology or presidential candidate. I mean, sure, you can have your opinion and your belief on who you're gonna vote for, what can who's the candidate that you're gonna support. But it's not really necessary for us to convince other people in such a level that you reach that toxic level, like you impose to them your social, your political belief and ideology. So there is something of an example and the negative impacts of online interaction. Now, this is the last part. How do you overcome the negative impacts of online interaction? Now, I believe the first step or the biggest step in solving a problem is acknowledging the problem itself. If you know what the problem is, then you're halfway through solving it. Now, since we are subjected to a lot of toxic and negative benefits or negative impacts of the online interaction world or online social media, we have the idea of what the problem really is, but we tend to be oblivious of what it causes and how it affects our lives. Now, if we start questioning the effects and the cause of these negative things on the online interaction or social media, then we'll be able to formulate a more suitable answer or a more suitable way of solving this problem or interacting with this problem that is suitable for our personality, for our privacy, and for our um, unique sense of using online platforms or social media. Since we tend to use social medias in a lot of different ways, just like human beings with their aspects of life, our usage of the online tools such as social media and our online interactions are different. So it is rather ignorant and insignificant for us to use a single-minded solution to solve negative impacts of online interaction. Rather, I do implore or want to convince you guys to try to properly assess your own problems or uh, regarding online interaction, and answer that question by asking yourself the important question of, is this good for me? Why is this bad for me? And how will I stop it? So that is my insight on the topic. the impact of online interaction to the self. So this has been Michael Jasper Ileto of Group 1, and thank you very much.